Hello everyone, and welcome to the third episode of Burning Down the House with Jacob. And I'm Jacob. Okay, so today, well actually over the next 3 days, I'm going to be teaching everyone how to make 3-day chili. Why is it called 3-day chili, you ask? It's because it takes 3 days to make it. Okay, so just to show you all what you're going to need to make this, you need your basic onions. We'll need 2 of these. You will need 2 beefsteak tomatoes, and you need beefsteak tomatoes. I don't know why, it's just I've never used any other kind of tomatoes, just this is what my grandmother taught me. You need a full bulb of garlic, raw garlic, 2 or 3 jalapenos, maybe more if you want the chili to be more spicy or more hot than it actually is. That's up to you. I usually use 2 or 3. I mean, you know, these are a little large for my taste. I usually like them a little smaller, but I mean, that's average. And you need 2 or 3 green or red chilies. This case, mine are red. I looked for green ones, couldn't find them.
Thanks, Publix.
And Winn-Dixie for that matter. But I've got 3 red chilies. They do have a distinct difference in taste. It's really, it'll be, you know, mixed in with other tastes, so it's not a big deal. You will also need, taco seasoning. You will need chili seasoning. You will need at least 1 pound of pinto beans. Now, I've had people ask me, well, can't you make this with red chili beans or kidney beans? Well, you can. It's not going to quite taste right. It'll be chili, but what kind of chili are we really looking for? Not the kind you use red chili beans with. Use pinto beans. You are also going to need tomato sauce. Now, I use plain tomato sauce. I will use 2 of these at the very least. I may go into 3. It just depends on what we have. Now, spices, you need at least these. You need at least Italian seasoning, garlic salt, with or without parsley, doesn't matter. The parsley really doesn't change anything. I just bought it that way. And you need black pepper. Now, you also need at least 1 pound of ground beef, which is still in the fridge, because I didn't want to take it out and have it sitting out for a couple of minutes and then throw it back in. It seemed kind of pointless. But it's in there, and we will be frying that up, but not today. Okay, now for the first thing that we are going to do on day 1, which is like the only thing we're really doing on day 1, we are going to take our beans, and you are going to put them in a pot with about half full of water, just enough where these can be covered. And we are going to soak these beans overnight for at least a good 24 hours. You do need to check them now and then, just to make sure that, because these will expand as they sit in the water soaking, they will expand. You need to make sure that they don't expand so much that you have no water. Okay. All you need to do put those in there, yay. And then put a lid on it. Make sure you have a lid for this pot. Has to have a lid. Now, 12:46 p.m. right now on a Saturday. And tomorrow, Sunday, 12:46 p.m. These will come out, these will get drained, and then we will go from there. But for right now, you're done for the day. So tomorrow at 12:46 p.m. we will be back and we will continue making the 3-day chili.
24 hours later.
Hello everyone. We are back on day 2. Now we've still got 36 minutes before that is the beans are done soaking. Because as you recall, they went in at 12:46 p.m. yesterday. And it is 12:10 p.m. today. So that will be done shortly. And what I'm doing now is just frying the ground beef to get that done and over with. One thing I do need to say, I feel kind of silly. Yesterday when we were starting this, we had all the ingredients but one sitting here, and I forgot an ingredient. Not that I forgot to buy it or anything like that. I have it. I had it to begin with, but because the ground beef was still in the fridge, so were the mushrooms, and I left the mushrooms in the fridge and totally forgot about them until after all that was done filming. And I didn't really see the point in redoing that whole thing because the beans were already in the water. So anyway, I do want to show you guys this. These are the mushrooms that I use in the chili, the baby bellas. You can use white. I kind of think the baby bellas taste a little bit better in this situation, but as long as they're mushrooms and small, I think they'll work just fine. But we're just going to brown the ground beef, and then when we get to the end of browning the ground beef, we will add the taco seasoning. Yes, I put taco seasoning in the chili because it makes it taste good. Now to do the taco sauce, the taco seasoning, like the back of the package says, you do 3/4 of a cup of water and the seasoning. Now, granted, this is a tad bit more than a pound of hamburger ground beef. It's actually about 1.5 pounds, but that's okay as long as you're not like getting up to about 2 pounds and stuff like that. I mean, I know it's all great and everything to have your chili with a lot of meat in it. I like a lot of meat. Just if you're going to have it that much meat, you know, 2 pounds or more, add another packet of taco sauce. Because really, one package of taco seasoning is really supposed to be just for 1 pound of ground beef. And you just get this all mixed up and you let it cook for about 5 minutes. And then it will be ready. And then after this cooks for about 5 minutes, we will put it in the slow cooker, the Wonder Woman crock pot, and that will be the first thing to go in. Alrighty, now that we've got the taco seasoning in with the ground beef is going in the Wonder Woman crock pot. Basically, you just put it in there. No special way or anything like that. The slow cooker is not on yet, but it will be shortly. So now we go on to the beans. As you can see, the beans have soaked for 23 hours and 59 minutes or 49 minutes and come on, anyway, another 10 minutes, it would be 24 hours. I think we can go ahead and move on now. We're not going to be that bad. So what we do is pour all of this into a strainer. And you want to put your pot over here because you're going to be putting all this stuff. Now what you want to do is go through here and you're going to want to squeeze the beans just a little bit between your fingers to make sure that there are no rocks in here. and that everything is going to cook nicely and be all soft when it's done. And that's all really what you're doing with it. And the same thing when you're fixing, just regular beans, you do the same thing. No different than when you're fixing chili. And I did want to point one thing out. My wonderful partner who does the camera work, he pointed out to me that I am assuming that everybody knows exactly what to do as far as, the simple stuff like browning ground beef, things like that. I know that's basic cooking 101, and that's why I didn't really, go into that. Basically, for ground beef, what you want to do, you start with the raw beef, and you break it up into small chunks. You put it in a skillet on medium heat, and you don't have to put any oil or grease or anything in with it because it makes its own. And you just basically, when it starts to really produce the grease, you just start stirring and flipping, and then sooner or later, usually after about maybe 15 minutes or so, it's going to be brown. And you just need to drain off the oil, the grease that it makes. Don't put it down the sink because that would be bad. You put it down the sink, you're eventually going to get grease that clogs up, and then you're either going to be looking for some liquid plumber, or you're going to be calling a plumber, an actual living plumber. And doing that is going to be expensive. If anybody has any questions whatsoever about anything that I do in the course of my cooking, basically just go down into the comments, ask your question. We do go and look at these, make sure that no one has questions, because if you do, we want to make sure they get answered. Alrighty, now that I've gone through all of the beans, your beans get dumped into here with the ground beef. And yes, don't worry, my hands are clean. I washed them. Now the next thing that we are going to do, we are going to take one of the cans of tomato sauce and we are going to add it in. Just one. There will be another one that we will add in a little later. But right now, we are only adding in one. Okay, just add in one can right now, and that's all we need right this second. Alrighty, so now we get to the point of chopping up the vegetables that we saw yesterday. Okay, what we want to start with, actually, is we want to put the crock pot on low, just to start with. And it doesn't really matter what order that you do these in. I just usually just do an onion first. The garlic will wait. The garlic will not go in until a little later, because if it goes in now, by the time that the chili is done cooking, you will have no garlic in there. You'll maybe have a trace taste of garlic, but it won't be a whole lot, because the garlic will basically disintegrate, and you don't want that. Okay. You just want to slice your onions just in a way. I mean, you don't want huge pieces, but you don't want them too small either. Because if you do them too small, they'll suffer the same fate as with the garlic. They'll just disintegrate. So, we just do it this way. And we will take this off so that we have somewhere to put the lid. Everything over here is clean. I have done dishes today a number of times, and we are just going to add the onions on the top. And now, I did say it doesn't matter what order you do these in, but it does matter that you don't do both of the onions at the same time, or both of the tomatoes, because then you have all of your tomatoes and or onions in the same place in the chili, and then it's just weird. Just don't do it. And I did wash everything before I got started, before I turned the camera on. And so everything has been washed and cleaned. And just basically cut your tomatoes into quarters, or however you want to do it. Like I said, as long as it's not too small. Do not want little small pieces of tomato and stuff just, you know, floating around in there, because then by the time that the chili's done, you won't be able to distinguish the little pieces of tomato from anything else, because they will just cook right into the sauce. Okay, let's go with a jalapeno. Or the jalapeno. These you do want to slice kind of small, just a little. Not huge, not small. Because if you do them too small, then everything suffers the same fate if you do them too small. So you don't want to do it too small. And the chilies especially. La 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 la. And we're cooking, and we're chopping. And that's the one chili. Haha, dropped one. That's okay. That happens. We are going to do 2 of the chilies, because we have 3. They usually, unless I'm cooking this for people from the South, which I am from Oklahoma, born and raised. Don't hold that against me. But my wonderful grandmother, who was actually from Arkansas, taught me how to do all of this God rest her soul. She was amazing. She was so amazing. It was just like, wow. Okay. Now after that in there, what we want to do is open the second can of tomato sauce. And like I said yesterday, you can use whatever kind of sauce you like, but for chili, it needs to be just a plain sauce. I mean, if you want to, get all Italian with it and do marinara, stuff like that, I mean, yeah, you can. Not saying you can't. You can. But it's just not the same chili. Just not the same thing. Okay. Right now, that is what we're going to do. Now these are going to go in a couple of hours. This is just the initial thing that we start with. And we are going to do some seasoning with some garlic salt. This might have helped if I took the cap off first. Lemon and pepper. Some Italian seasoning. Some garlic. Okay, do not ask me where this accent is coming from. I do not know. Some pepper. I don't know what kind of accent it is. It's just something that just popped up. So we're going with it. Okay. The chili seasoning will actually go in a little later. Not just yet. So we're going to set that aside. And so for right now, we are going to give this, after we stir it up, slide spoon. We're going to stir this up just a little bit, because right now, everything is in layers, and we want everything to be one nice little crock pot full of stuff. Get your beans mixed up and get your meat mixed up, because all that meat is still sitting on the bottom, so you need to mix it up a bit. And this also mixes up your seasoning some. There we are. Alrighty. And we will be back in a couple of about 2 hours just to check on things and add a little bit more to the chili. And then after that, it goes into a long stretch of hours where, yes, you come back and you stir everything, but aside from that, you don't really do a whole lot. One thing I forgot to mention, you need to turn the crock pot from low to high just for the next couple of hours. And then I will let everyone know in the video when to turn it back to low.
2 hours later.
Alrighty, hello everyone, and we're back. I have washed the mushrooms down to get all the dirt off of them. Because that is the one bad thing about mushrooms. You buy them, they're covered in dirt. It's because I get them straight out of the dirt that they're grown in. And we are not going to slice all of these right now because you will want some for later to go in. So we are going to grab, I would say probably 5 or 6 would be fine. And just slice them up lengthwise, just like this. after we're done slicing those up,
oh, hold on. You can. Oh, actually, you can see it.
and we're gonna
I was about to fix it, but we don't need to.
and get those under the surface of the sauce. That is all that we need to do for right now. Now, in about another 2 hours or so, we are going to chop up the rest of the veggies and get those in there, except for the garlic, which still has to wait a little while. And then the mushrooms will come a little later after that, and the rest of them will go in, and then everything will be done until the chili itself is done cooking, which will be hours away. Many hours. Many hours. And many hours. But in the meantime, we have nothing else to do but wait and to stir that on occasion. And also in 2 hours, we will be adding the chili seasoning.
2 hours later.
Here we go. Hi, we're back. And just like before, we have the rest of our vegetables which need to go in. We will put some of the mushrooms in, but not a whole lot, because you want some of them left over closer to the end. Garlic is still waiting. We're not putting the garlic in just yet. We will put the garlic in about 2 hours. But the rest of this is ready to go. Set out its spoon. And we're going to mix everything up really good, as usual. Now, one of the things that we need to do here, it's time to add the chili seasoning. Now, I always choose the mild because I've got jalapenos, and the chilies help a little bit with the flavor, sometimes with the heat, sometimes not. We are going to get that chili seasoning in there, and we are going to stir it all up. Now, of course, this is the point where you need to turn your crock pot down from high to low, and it will remain at low for the rest of the cook time. mixed up. And then we are going to add a little bit of seasoning. Add some garlic salt. A little bit of onion powder. That's because I like a lot of onion taste. That's just me. And we are going to add some black pepper because we have not added that yet. And we're going to mix it a little bit more. And if you have any tomatoes that pop up to the top while you're mixing this, be sure you push them back down. The tomatoes are really the only things that you really got to make sure that they are not sitting on top of the sauce. Alrighty. So in about 2 hours, we will be able to basically get our garlic all peeled and chopped and everything. We will have some of them as the full cloves, and some of them we're going to dice up a little bit, and then it's all going to go straight into the chili. So in about 2 hours, we'll be ready to do that. I just wanted to let everyone know, at this point, you should already, if you haven't already done it, you need to have your crock pot turned down to low and leave it on low for the remainder of the cooking time.
2 hours later.
Hello everyone, and we are back again.
It's been 2 hours. Again.
2 hours again. Okay, we are up to the point of getting the garlic prepared and sliced up and everything. So there's a trick to doing this rather quickly and easily, and probably I'm sure some of you out there know this. Some of you out there probably don't. I didn't until just a couple of years ago, because we always did it the hard way because we didn't know any other way. But now the easy way to getting garlic peeled and everything chopped up and ready to go in anywhere. Okay, what you do first, separate them all out of the garlic bulb, and you take just one at a time. What you want to do is you want to cut off this piece, which was sticking up, the top part of it, and then you want to cut off the bottom part, which was stuck to, where it was growing from, on the plant. So you're going to cut those two off. Okay, now you might get a piece that comes off, piece of the outside of the garlic that comes off when you do that. If you do, great, but not really what you're going for. Sometimes you can get an extra piece off like that. Okay, the nice thing, this piece actually just, hey, I got the whole thing off. Wasn't actually going for that, but hey, it worked, so who cares? Okay, let's get a second piece and try that again. Cut the ends off. Okay, this one will work. Okay, there we go. Okay, now, what you want to do, get that out of the way. Take the flat part of your knife, and you're going to set it right there, right on top of the clove of garlic that you're doing this to. Move your fingers on the hand that's holding the handle, because you don't want to have your fingers under this, because it'll hurt when you do it, because you're going to be squashing your fingers if you do. So anyway, put the flat part of your knife on top of the clove of garlic, and then just hit it with your hand, but be careful, don't cut yourself. And that's all that you really have to do, like that. Now, when that happens, your garlic skin comes right off in one piece. And then, look, just make sure not to include any tiny pieces in with it. And see, that is like the quickest and easiest way to get garlic totally peeled and everything fixed. Once again, you just take off the top and the bottom. Take off any excess peel that's there. And if you have any left, which we do, you just do that. Voila! Oh, that is so cool. I love the way that works. Little bit in the left on that one. No, just the way it looked. And see, and now that I've shown everybody that, it's like you are going to, for the next couple of days, it is okay, I give you leave to put raw garlic in everything. Because you are going to be so fascinated with that, you're going to want to put garlic in everything because you're going to go, oh look, I can do that so easily now. And you're going to have some that are like that it just comes right off. So that is about how much you want to put in to start with. And then the rest of this we will chop up in probably about 4 hours or so and put the rest of it in. Alrighty. Look at all that raw garlic. And you want to stir it up. Okay, so we have nothing really to add in 2 hours. However, I will tell you, come back, check it, and stir it up, which you should be doing probably every 15-20 minutes anyway. And then in 4 hours from now, 4 hours from now, we will come back, we will add the rest of our garlic, and we will add the last of our mushrooms. And so, see you in 4 hours.
4 hours later.
Hello everyone, and we're back. Okay, right now the time is about 12:08 a.m. and we started this today at 12:46 p.m. So we are looking at about 38 minutes that we are lacking, being about 12 hours exactly. This stuff needs to cook at least 12 to 16 hours. But since we are adding stuff right now, because it was always my intention to go the full 16 hours, because the longer that you cook it, the better it tastes. But this is the last of the mushrooms and the rest of the garlic. And I went ahead and cut that up off camera, just so we could go ahead and get this all done and everything. So we'll put this in. And put that in there. And we will mix this up. This is about the point where the sauce that makes up the majority of the chili is really getting thicker. It's like you can tell that this is, you know, starting to be a little thicker. And really,
it's actually looking more like chili, yeah.
Yeah. Really, we don't really need to add anything. I did have a standby can of tomato sauce, but I don't see us needing it at this point. So, in about 2 hours, I will be checking on it, probably adding a little bit of spices, maybe some garlic powder, maybe some Italian seasoning. You know, just I'll probably be giving it a taste just to see what it tastes like and what exactly it's going to need as far as spices go. Aside from that, in about 4 hours, and you should be checking this every 2 hours at the very least, giving it a good stir, making sure that everything is getting rotated in there so that it's all going to cook correctly. But in about...
You want them to do it in 2 hours, but it's already...
Well, I will tell you, this is not a recipe that you want to start without some serious pre-planning. Because if you don't have the time to sit there and cook this for 12 to 16 hours, then it's something that you ought to put off until at a time that you do have the time to do this. If you want the chili to taste like how it tastes to us, you know, in Oklahoma and in the South, this is how we do it. Or at least this is how my grandmother did it.
I get that. I'm just wondering, do people sleep?
Yes, being that it is a crock pot and it is generally safe, I'm not, you know, saying, you know, throw caution to the wind and just go sleep, you know, 8, 10, 12 hours and never mind your crock pot, because you do need to keep an eye on anything that you're cooking. Now, me, I'm going to be up at least, you know, for another 4 to 6 hours. That I do know. And so for me, I don't have a problem, you know, doing it this way. You, if, you know, you don't feel like you had, you know, the time to do this, you do need to, you know, pick a time when you do have the time to do this all the way through. But in about 4 hours, which will be probably about 4:15 a.m., then this should all be done, and at that point you can either put it on warm, or you know, you can basically transfer everything after it cools off, transfer everything into storage containers and put it in the fridge. That is totally up to you.
He will be filming that because I will be asleep, and I'm sure the rest of you will be asleep like normal people.
6 hours later.
Hello everyone, and we have reached the point in the recipe of the cooking that the cooking is done. And we have a beautiful chili, if I do say so myself. So this is exactly what we were going for. And this time, because I promised this to him, this is our roommate Michael.
Hi.
From Chicken Chat.
From Chicken Chat, yes. And I'm going to taste this chili.
It's so hot. So
Just be very careful.
blow into it.
Blow. The word of the day for cooking is blow.
Blow vigorously.
Delicious. I love you all, but I'm going to take this back to my room with my water, and I'm going to eat.
Well, there you have it, folks. If you cook this recipe and you enjoy it, or if you have any questions, or if you have any questions about the previous two videos, or anything along those lines, please feel free to add it in the comments. Let me know what you liked about it. And if you have any ideas of what you personally would like to see me cook in the future, feel free to add a comment below the video and we will get to that. If you like what you see with the dishes that I cook, please feel free to like and subscribe to the channel, and we will be here hopefully cooking something new and exciting for next time.